Welcome. Every single person has moments of doubt, that feeling of uncertainty, the voice in your mind that says, maybe I can't do this, is something we've all faced. But here's the truth. Doubt doesn't have to stop you. In fact, it can be the very thing that pushes you to become stronger, sharper, and more determined than ever before. This isn't just about overcoming hesitation or fear. It's about transforming it into fuel that drives you toward everything you want in life. Ask yourself the critical questions. What is the evidence for this doubt? Is this based on a genuine fact or a story I am telling myself? What is the worst case scenario, and can I survive it? What is the best case scenario, and is it worth the risk? When you challenge your doubts with logic and honest inquiry, you will discover that they are often built on a foundation of sand. They crumble under the weight of truth. This is your time to stop holding back, to stop questioning whether you're good enough, smart enough, or strong enough. You are, and by the end of this, you'll not only believe it, you'll know how to take action on it. Because this is your life, and no one else can create the success you deserve but you. So stick with me, because we're about to shift the way you see yourself and your future. Let's get started. Let me tell you something that might just change the way you see yourself forever. We've been conditioned to believe that doubt is the enemy. We see it as a flaw, a sign of weakness, a signal that we should retreat. But I am here to tell you that this is a fundamental misconception. Doubt is not your enemy. It is a crucible, a vessel of fire that forges your potential into power. It is a signal, a whisper from your soul telling you that you are standing at the threshold of something profound. Think about the times in your life when doubt shows up. Did it feel like a heavy cloak settling on your shoulders? Did your heart race as if it were a warning alarm? Did a torrent of what-if scenarios flood your mind, each one designed to keep you from moving? This physiological response is familiar to every human being. But the mistake we make is to interpret this feeling as a definitive truth. We listen to the whisper of fear and mistake it for the voice of reason. We allow our doubts, which are merely assumptions and stories, to dictate our reality. And so we stay still. We choose the familiar path, and the possibilities on the other side of that doubt fade into nothing. The first and most courageous step is to recognize doubt for what it is, a thought, not a fact. You must stop fighting it. You must stop judging yourself for having it. Instead, you must learn to observe it with a detached curiosity. When that familiar voice says, "You're not good enough," I want you to pause and with a quiet strength acknowledge it. Say to yourself, "Ah, there is the doubt. I see it." Do not argue with it. Do not give it power by believing it. Simply observe it as if it were a cloud passing through your mind. By doing this, you create a separation. You prove to your subconscious that you are not your doubt. You are the one observing it. Most people go wrong by attaching a deeper, more permanent meaning to their doubts. They believe that this feeling is a prophecy, a premonition of their inevitable failure. But doubt is a liar. It is the phantom limb of a past you are trying to outgrow. It is based on a collection of old stories, old insecurities, and old failures that you are now strong enough to transcend. To begin this transformation, I want you to make this a daily practice. For the next week, carry a small journal. The moment you feel the pang of doubt, when you're about to make a crucial call, when you're considering a new venture, when you're about to have a difficult conversation, I want you to write it down. Do not filter or rationalize. Simply record the thought, "I doubt I have what it takes. I'm not sure this will work." Once you have recorded these doubts, do not let them linger in the shadows. Bring them into the light and dissect them. Furthermore, you must counter your doubts with the undeniable evidence of your past victories. We tend to magnify our failures while minimizing our triumphs. Your past is not a prison, it is a library of your strengths. Think back to a time when you overcame an obstacle you thought was impossible. Recall a moment when you pushed through fear and achieved something great. These are not coincidences, they are data points that prove your resilience and capability. Write these victories down. Keep them visible, and the next time doubt shows up, look at this list and say with conviction, "I have faced bigger things than this. I have proven my strength before, and I will prove it again." Ultimately, the goal is not to live a life without doubt. That is an impossible fantasy. The goal is to change your relationship with it. It is to transform doubt from a paralyzing roadblock into a compass that points you toward growth. It is to see doubt as the signal that you are doing something important. And when you do, you will stop letting it halt your progress. You will recognize it, acknowledge its presence, and then you will take action anyway. Because nothing silences doubt faster than a courageous step forward. That is where your power lies. That is where your transformation begins. Welcome back. In our last segment, we talked about recognizing doubt for what it is, a visitor, not a resident. But simply recognizing it isn't enough. It's time to move beyond the surface. It's time to become detectives of our own minds. We must understand that doubt is a symptom, not the disease. To truly conquer it, we must break down its source. We must understand where it comes from, why it shows up, and what its true purpose is. Most people let doubt sit there, a silent saboteur of their dreams. They feel the anxiety, the hesitation, but they never ask the critical question, where is this coming from? They let an unexamined feeling dictate their entire future. That ends today. The moment you start asking that question, you change the game. You stop being a passive victim of your mind and start becoming the master of it. So, let's pull back the curtain. What are the unseen roots of doubt? The ghost of past failures. For many, doubt is simply the ghost of past failures. You tried something and it didn't work out. You stumbled, you fell. And now, every time you stand at the edge of a new opportunity, the memory of that fall rises up, whispering, remember what happened last time? Don't do it again. This voice isn't trying to protect you, it's trying to keep you small. It's using a past event to create a present prison. But here's the truth about past failures. They are not prophecies of your future. They are simply data. They are lessons in a lab. Thomas Edison didn't fail thousands of times. He simply discovered thousands of ways not to build a light bulb. Your failures are the same. They are not a sign of your inability. They are a sign of your effort. You didn't fail at your dream. You succeeded at learning a crucial lesson. The moment you reframe your past from a source of shame to a source of wisdom, doubt begins to lose its power. You can look at that doubt and say, thank you for the reminder. I have learned from that moment. And because of that lesson, I am stronger, smarter, and better prepared for this. The poison of other people's opinions. Another powerful source of doubt is the poison of other people's opinions. Maybe it was a parent who told you your dreams were unrealistic. A teacher who said you weren't talented enough. A friend who told you to play it safe. These words spoken in a fleeting moment can echo in your mind for a lifetime, becoming a core part of your doubt. But whose voice is that, really? It's not yours. It's a borrowed thought, an inherited fear. It's an idea that was given to you, not created by you. Most people who try to dim your light are simply afraid of the brightness of their own. Their doubts are a reflection of their own limitations, their own insecurities. They are not a reflection of your potential. Your job is to identify those voices and silence them. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your ambition. The only person you are accountable to is the person you see in the mirror. The moment you decide that someone else's opinion of your potential is irrelevant, you take a monumental step towards unshakable confidence. Their doubt has no place in your journey. The fear of the unknown. The most insidious source of doubt is often the one that has no real basis at all. The fear of the unknown. This is a powerful primal fear. Your mind is wired for survival, and survival means sticking to what's familiar. Anything new, a new project, a new relationship, a new business is perceived as a threat. So your mind, in an attempt to protect you, floods your thoughts with every possible what-if scenario. What if I fail? What if I'm not ready? What if I fall flat on my face? This is not a sign of a flaw, it is a sign of your humanity. But you must not let a survival instinct dictate a life of growth. The only way to combat the fear of the unknown is to flood it with action. You don't need a guarantee of success. You don't need to see the entire staircase. You just need to take the first step. Action is the antidote to fear. It proves to your mind that the threat is not real. It replaces the endless what-ifs with the reality of I am doing it. So let's get practical. The next time doubt shows up, instead of just listening to it, I want you to get analytical. Grab a notebook, a blank piece of paper, draw 3 columns. In the first column, write down the specific doubt you're feeling. Be specific. I don't think I can do this. In the second column, ask yourself, what is the source of this doubt? Is it a past failure? Is it the voice of a critic? Is it just the fear of the unknown? In the third column, write down the action you can take to neutralize that source. If it's a past failure, write down the lesson you learned. If it's a critic's voice, write down why their opinion is irrelevant. If it's the unknown, write down one small, immediate step you can take. This simple exercise strips doubt of its power. It moves it from an overwhelming abstract fear to a tangible, solvable problem. It forces you to move from passive introspection to active investigation. So, what are you going to do? Are you going to continue letting the unexamined voices of your past, the borrowed opinions of others, or the baseless fears of your mind control your present? Or are you going to take ownership? Are you going to dig deep, find the true source of your doubt, and systematically dismantle it? The power is in your hands. The choice is yours. And the life you've always wanted is waiting for you on the other side of this investigation. Doubt is loud, isn't it? It has a way of creeping into your thoughts, convincing you to stand still, convincing you to second-guess every step you take. It builds its fortress in your mind with bricks of what-ifs and if-onlys, and from inside it whispers 1,000 reasons to stay put. But action has the power to silence that doubt. When you shift your focus from endless rumination to deliberate doing, from the paralysis of analysis to the power of motion, doubt has no choice but to take a back seat. It's not about waiting until you feel ready. It's about choosing to act despite the uncertainty. Think about this. Every great accomplishment, every breakthrough you admire started with action. Not perfection, not confidence, just action. I've seen it time and time again, people who felt paralyzed by their doubts, by their fears, by their uncertainties. But the moment they decided to act, the momentum began to build. Action creates energy. It creates clarity. It turns thoughts into reality. And here's the key. It doesn't have to be big. Small, deliberate actions are just as powerful as bold leaps. What matters is that you move forward no matter how small the step. There's a kind of alchemy that happens when you shift your focus from thinking to doing. The fear that once seemed so big starts to shrink. The uncertainty that held you back starts to feel less overwhelming. It's not that the doubt disappears completely, but it loses its grip on you because now, instead of letting it dictate your choices, you're showing it that you're in charge. Picture this. You've been dreaming about something, starting a new project, pursuing a goal, making a change in your life, and every time you think about it, doubt shows up. What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if I don't know how? Those thoughts can feel so heavy, so convincing, but here's the thing, they're just thoughts. They're not reality. And the only way to prove them wrong is to take action. Let's get specific. Maybe you've been thinking about starting a business, writing a book, or going after that promotion. But instead of moving forward, you've been stuck in your head going over all the reasons why it might not work. What if, just for today, you did something different? What if you took one small step? Just one. Maybe it's sending an email, writing down a plan, or making a phone call. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be done. There's a quote I've always loved. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. It's simple, but it's true. The longer you wait for the perfect moment, the more time you're giving your doubt to grow. And let me tell you, there is no perfect moment. The stars will never align just right. You create the moment by acting. That's how progress happens, not by waiting, but by doing. I know it's not always easy. Fear can be loud, and the unknown can feel intimidating. But action doesn't require you to feel fearless. It doesn't require you to have it all figured out. All it asks of you is that you show up and try. And every time you do, you're building something bigger than confidence. You're building trust in yourself. Trust that you can handle whatever comes your way. Trust that you're capable of more than you think. Trust that you've got what it takes to figure it out as you go. I want you to think back to a time in your life when you took a chance, when you stepped forward despite the fear. Maybe it was a small moment, or maybe it was a big decision. Either way, you acted. And what happened? You learned something. You grew. You proved to yourself that you could do it. That's what action does. It teaches you, it shapes you, it strengthens you. And here's the truth. No one ever feels 100% ready. The people you look up to, the ones who seem so confident and successful, they felt doubt too. They felt fear. The difference is they didn't let it stop them. They acted anyway. And you can do the same. I want you to try something right now. Close your eyes just for a moment and think about the thing you've been hesitating on. The thing you've been wanting to do but haven't started yet. Now imagine what your life could look like if you took that first step today. Imagine the momentum that could build, the progress you could make, the opportunities that could unfold. Feels good, doesn't it? Feels exciting. Feels possible. Now open your eyes and make a decision. Decide that today is the day you stop letting doubt hold you back. Decide that today is the day you take action. It doesn't have to be perfect and it doesn't have to be big. It just has to be something. Because every small step you take is a step toward the life you want. Remember this. Action is your superpower. It's what turns dreams into reality, what turns fear into courage, what turns doubt into determination. And the best part, it's entirely within your control. No one else can do it for you, but no one else can stop you either. It's up to you, and I know you've got it in you to make it happen. So what's it going to be? Are you going to let doubt win, or are you going to take that first step? I believe in you. I believe in your ability to move forward, to take action, to create the life you deserve. It starts now. It starts with you. And I can't wait to see what you'll do next. Let's go. Your past is not your prison. It is the unassailable evidence of your strength. It is the forge where your resilience was hammered and tested. Every mistake, every misstep, every failure, these are not signs of who you are. They are simply chapters in the epic story of who you are becoming. And let me tell you this. No chapter is final unless you stop writing the book. Think about the countless times you've been held back, not by circumstances, but by the relentless ghosts of what went wrong. You begin to doubt yourself, not because of what you face today, but because of something that didn't work out yesterday. You carry the weight of old failures like a backpack full of rocks. You relive the disappointment of a past defeat, allowing it to dictate the outcomes of your present and future. But here's the profound, liberating truth. Those failures were never meant to weigh you down. They were meant to lift you up. They were meant to teach you, to prepare you, and to toughen you for what's next. The only reason they still hurt is because you keep revisiting them without extracting their purpose. You are not the same person you were a year ago or even a month ago. Every single day you are changing, you are learning, you are growing. The question is, are you allowing yourself to see that growth? Are you giving yourself credit for the battles you fought and the steps you've taken, even if they didn't turn out perfectly? Because that is where the shift happens. Not in erasing the past, but in choosing to see it differently. Your past is not a punishment, it's a professor. And its lessons are meant to guide you, not define you. I want you to conduct a mental inventory. When you look back on your life, I want you to think about the moments you were certain you couldn't overcome. Recall the heartbreaks, the disappointments, the times you failed and felt like it was the end of the road. You've been there before, haven't you? You've stood in the wreckage of your own plans. And yet, here you are. You're still standing, you're still breathing, you're still trying. That says something profound about you. It says that you are resilient beyond measure. It says that you are capable of more than you've ever given yourself credit for. It says that you are, in fact, the living proof of your own power. But here's the critical point. You cannot move forward if you are constantly looking back. Imagine trying to drive a car while staring in the rearview mirror the entire time. You wouldn't get very far, would you? You'd probably crash. Life works the same way. The rearview mirror is there for perspective, not for focus. Use it to glance back, learn what you need to learn from the terrain you've already crossed, and then fix your eyes on the road ahead. I know it's not easy. Letting go of the past can feel like letting go of a part of yourself. But the truth is, you're not letting go of yourself, you're letting go of the dead weight that's been holding you back. You're letting go of the idea that your past mistakes define your worth. They don't. Your worth has never been tied to what you've done. It's tied to who you are, and more importantly, to who you are becoming. One of the most powerful and liberating acts you can perform is to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for the times you didn't know better. Forgive yourself for the decisions you wish you could take back. Forgive yourself for being human. Because that's what you are. A human being doing the best you can with what you have. And the beautiful thing about being human is that you have the divine ability to change, to grow, to start again. Every single day is a new opportunity to do just that. You might be thinking, but I've made too many mistakes. I've failed too many times. Let me stop you right there. There is no such thing as too many mistakes. Every person you admire, every person who has achieved great things has failed more times than you can count. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of it. The only difference between them and you is that they didn't let their failures define them. They used them as stepping stones, and you can too. So, let your past be your proof. Start by asking yourself this: what did my past teach me? What did I learn from those moments that didn't go as planned? Maybe you learned the value of persistence. Maybe you learned that you are stronger than you thought. Maybe you learned what not to do next time. Whatever it is, take the lesson and leave the rest. You don't need to carry the pain or the guilt. You only need the wisdom. The next step is to take action. Don't let your past keep you in a place of inaction. The longer you wait, the stronger those doubts become. Start small if you have to, but start. Take one step toward the life you want and then another. Each step will build momentum. Each step will remind you that your past is not in control. You are. And as you move forward, surround yourself with people who believe in you. People who see your potential, not your past. People who lift you up, not hold you back. The right people can make all the difference. They can remind you of your strength when you forget. They can help you see the possibilities when all you see are obstacles. Let me leave you with this. Your past is not your prison. It's your teacher. It's there to show you what's possible, not what's permanent. You have the power to rewrite your story starting right now. You have the power to take the lessons you've learned and use them to create a future you're proud of. Don't let the mistakes of yesterday keep you from the opportunities of today. You are not your past. You are the author of your next chapter, and it's time to start writing. Every great achievement in the annals of history, from the pyramids of Giza to the first footsteps on the moon, began not with a stroke of luck, but with a deliberate act of clarity. If you don't know where you're going, how will you ever arrive? You'll find yourself wandering in the vast, unforgiving wilderness of life, a passive passenger in your own journey. The difference between drifting through life and steering it with purpose lies in this single, non-negotiable step: setting clear, achievable goals. Let's confront a fundamental truth. Life does not hand you success. It does not knock on your door with a ribbon-wrapped package of your dreams. No, you must decide what you want. You must define it with such a vivid, almost tactile clarity that it feels more real than your current reality. Without this clarity, you will inevitably settle for whatever comes your way, a fate far beneath the potential you carry within you. So, I challenge you. When was the last time you truly sat down and asked yourself, what do I want from this one precious life? Not what society expects of you, not what your family or friends wish for you, but what you in the deepest chambers of your heart genuinely desire. If it's been a while, the time to do this is now. Take a notebook, find a quiet sanctuary, and begin the sacred work of creation. Write about the life you are determined to forge, the person you are destined to become, and the legacy you will leave. Dream unapologetically, but do so with specificity. This is where we separate intentions from outcomes. Saying, I want to be successful is a sentiment, not a blueprint. It is a whisper, not a command. What does success look like, sound like, feel like for you? Does it manifest as financial independence, where you control your time and your freedom? Is it the profound satisfaction of building meaningful relationships rooted in trust and respect? Is it the deep fulfillment of making a tangible impact in your community, leaving the world a better place than you found it? The more specific your vision, the more focused your efforts will become. Your mind is a powerful engine, and clarity is the precise fuel it needs to run at full power. But even the most vivid vision can feel overwhelming, like staring at the summit of a colossal mountain. The secret is not to leap, but to build a path. You must break down your grand vision into small, manageable, and achievable goals. These are the stepping stones that prevent you from feeling paralyzed. If your ultimate goal is to launch a business, your first step isn't to open the doors tomorrow. It might be to research the market or to create a simple business plan. If your aspiration is to be healthier, your initial goal isn't a complete lifestyle overhaul. It might be to drink an extra glass of water each day or to take a 10-minute walk. The key is not to achieve everything at once, but to start where you are and build from there, one victorious step at a time. And for those who say, I don't have time, let's reframe that excuse with a dose of brutal honesty. Time is a universal currency. We all have the same 24 hours. The real issue is not a lack of time, but a lack of priority. We make time for what truly matters to us. So ask yourself with unwavering sincerity, is this goal important enough to me? Am I willing to make it a priority? If the answer is yes, then your actions will reflect that commitment. If not, then it was never a goal to begin with, but a mere fleeting thought. Goals are not just promises you make to yourself. They are contracts that demand accountability. It's one thing to have a dream, but it's another to show up and do the work. This is where you leverage the power of a support system. Share your goals with someone you trust, a mentor, a friend, a partner. Allow them to cheer you on, to check in on your progress, and to hold you to your word. Their belief in you can be the very anchor that keeps you steady when you feel like drifting. But even if you walk alone, you must become your own most vigilant accountability partner. Write down your goals. Review them relentlessly and celebrate every small victory. These tiny triumphs are not insignificant. They are the undeniable evidence that you are moving forward. Remember, your goals do not need to be perfect or impressive to anyone else. They just need to resonate with the person you are and the life you are building. Your journey is uniquely yours, and the only benchmark that matters is the person you were yesterday. So I ask you to project yourself forward. Imagine it's 1 year from today. You're looking back at this very moment. Will you be proud of the choices you've made? Will you be closer to the life you've envisioned, or will you still be caught in the same cycle of inaction? The decisions you make today are the seeds of your tomorrow. Plant them wisely. Clarity is power. When you know precisely what you want and why you want it, you become unstoppable. Obstacles do not disappear, but they become manageable. Doubts do not vanish, but they lose their grip. Because when you possess that kind of resolute focus and determination, there is truly nothing you cannot achieve. The person you want to become, the life you desire to live it, is all waiting for you on the other side of clarity and action. Now go out there and make it happen. Consistency is the quiet, relentless force that underpins every great achievement. It is not the sudden dramatic leap that changes a life, but the thousand small, deliberate steps taken day after day. Most people underestimate what consistency can do because it lacks the flash and fire of a grand gesture. It is not glamorous, it is not loud, it is simply profoundly effective. And here is the unvarnished truth. Consistency will take you further than motivation ever could. Motivation is a beautiful but fleeting guest. It arrives with a rush of energy and a promise of boundless possibility. Anyone can feel motivated for a day. Anyone can show up once when inspiration strikes. But what happens when the feeling fades? What happens when the excitement wanes and you are left with the cold, hard reality of the work that still needs to be done? This is where most people falter. They wait for motivation to return, and in the silence of that waiting, their dreams gather dust. The real winners in life, the ones who build empires, shape careers, and transform themselves, are those who show up again and again, regardless of how they feel. They possess an unwavering resolve to do the work, even when it's hard, even when it's boring, and especially when no one is watching. That is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who give up halfway. Consistency doesn't care if you're in the mood, it cares that you show up. Let's be honest with ourselves. Maintaining consistency is not easy. There will be days when every fiber of your being screams to stop. Days when doubt, that familiar old foe, creeps in and whispers that none of this is worth it. You'll wake up some mornings and think, why am I even doing this? And in that moment of weakness, most people choose comfort. They listen to the excuses that they are too tired or too busy. But you are not most people. You are here because you demand more. You have a vision, a purpose, a profound reason to keep going, even on the toughest days. The key to unlocking this unyielding power is to shift your focus. Stop fixating on the end result and obsessing over when the payoff will come. The results will come not on your timeline, but on their own. Instead, focus on the process. The journey itself is where the magic lies. It's in the quiet act of doing the work, not in the loud act of receiving the reward. Like planting a seed, you don't see the tree overnight. But you water it, you nurture it, and you trust that growth is happening even when you can't see it. This is a profound act of faith in yourself. To make consistency your new reality, you must build habits that make it automatic. You cannot rely on willpower alone, for it is a finite resource. Instead, build a system of routines that support your goals. If your goal is to exercise more, make it effortless to begin. Lay out your workout clothes the night before. Set a specific time to work out every day and honor that commitment as if it were a sacred appointment. If your goal is to read more, keep a book on your nightstand or set aside 10 minutes before bed. The easier you make it to stick to your habits, the more likely you are to stay consistent. This is a game of leverage, not brute force. And here is a vital, often overlooked truth. Learn to forgive yourself for the days you miss. No one is perfect. Life will happen. You will fall off track. But missing one day does not mean you have failed. What matters is what you do in the next moment. Do you throw in the towel and surrender all progress? Or do you pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and get back on track the very next day? Consistency is not about being flawless. It is about being persistent. It is about showing up more often than not and refusing to let a single setback stop the entire journey. There is a profound power in committing to the long game. In a world of instant gratification, you become a rare and valuable breed when you are willing to play for the long term. When you show up day after day, knowing that the payoff might not come right away, but trusting with an unshakable certainty that it is coming, that's what forges character. That's what builds resilience. And that's what produces results that are both magnificent and lasting. The small, consistent actions you take today may seem insignificant, but they are creating something bigger than you can possibly imagine. Every time you show up, you are building momentum. Every time you stay consistent, you are strengthening your discipline. And every time you push through the hard days, you are proving to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever thought. It is like laying bricks for a house. Each brick on its own looks like nothing. but together they create something solid, something lasting. The beauty of consistency is that it builds a deep, unshakable confidence. When you show up for yourself day after day, you start to trust yourself, you start to believe in your ability to follow through. And that belief is life-changing. It spills over into every area of your life. You become the kind of person who doesn't just talk about their goals, but takes relentless action. The kind of person who doesn't give up when it gets hard. The kind of person who creates their own success brick by brick, day by day. So as you move forward, remember this. You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to be consistent. Show up even when it's hard. Focus on the process, not the outcome. Build habits that support your goals. And forgive yourself for the missteps along the way. Keep your why close to your heart and trust that every small, consistent action you take is leading you closer to the life you want. Because when you commit to consistency, there is nothing you cannot achieve. You can't climb a mountain alone, but you also can't expect anyone else to carry you to the top. Support is one of the most powerful tools you have, and if you learn how to use it wisely, it can change everything. The truth is, life is hard enough as it is. Trying to do everything on your own doesn't make you stronger, it just makes the journey longer and more difficult. Surrounding yourself with the right people is not a sign of weakness, it's a strategy for success. Think about the people you spend the most time with. Are they lifting you up or are they holding you back? Are they encouraging you to reach higher or are they pulling you down with doubt and negativity? The people in your life matter more than you think. They shape your mindset, your beliefs, and even your actions. If you're serious about achieving your goals, you've got to be intentional about who you let into your circle. Because when you're surrounded by the right support, you'll find that your doubts shrink, your confidence grows, and your determination becomes unshakable. Support doesn't mean people will do the work for you, but it does mean they'll cheer you on when you need it most. They'll remind you of your potential when you forget. They'll push you when you're tempted to settle. And that kind of energy is contagious, it's powerful. Imagine having people in your life who believe in you so deeply that their belief starts to rub off on you. That's what support can do. It strengthens you in ways you never thought possible. But support isn't just about what others can do for you, it's also about what you can do for them. It's about building relationships that are mutual, where you uplift each other and celebrate each other's wins. There's something incredible about being part of a group of people who are all striving for greatness together. When one person succeeds, it inspires everyone else to keep going. It creates momentum, and that momentum carries everyone forward. Now let's get real for a second. Not everyone in your life is going to be supportive. Some people, even those closest to you, might doubt you or question your dreams. They might project their fears onto you, telling you all the reasons why it won't work. And that can be tough. It can make you second-guess yourself, especially if those voices are loud or persistent. But here's the thing. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You just need the right ones. The right people will see your potential even when you can't. They'll remind you of your why when you feel like giving up. They'll call you out when you're making excuses and challenge you to rise higher. These are the people who genuinely want to see you win, not because it benefits them, but because they care about you and your journey. When you find those people, hold on to them. And just as importantly, be that person for someone else. Be the kind of support you wish you had. Because the more you give, the more you attract. One of the best things you can do for yourself is to actively seek out communities that align with your goals. Join a group, find a mentor, or connect with people who are on the same path as you. Whether it's through social media, local meetups, or networking events, put yourself in environments where growth is the norm. Surround yourself with people who inspire you to level up, people who make you want to be better just by being around them. But let's not confuse support with comfort. Support doesn't mean people will sugarcoat the truth or let you off the hook when things get tough. True support challenges you. It pushes you out of your comfort zone and forces you to confront the things holding you back. The people who truly care about your growth won't just tell you what you want to hear, they'll tell you what you need to hear. And sometimes that's exactly what it takes to keep moving forward. There's also a sense of accountability that comes with support. When you surround yourself with people who believe in you, you don't want to let them down. Their belief in you becomes a responsibility, a positive pressure that keeps you on track. It's not about pleasing others. It's about living up to the potential they see in you. And that accountability can be a game changer. It keeps you disciplined, focused, and motivated even on the days when you feel like quitting. Support doesn't always have to come from people you know personally. Sometimes the greatest sources of inspiration come from books, podcasts, or stories of people who've walked the path you're on. There's so much wisdom out there, so many lessons waiting to be learned from those who face the same challenges and come out stronger. When you're feeling stuck, immerse yourself in their stories. Let their words remind you of what's possible. Let their journey reignite your belief in your own. At the end of the day, support is a two-way street. It's about giving and receiving, about lifting others up while allowing yourself to be lifted. It's about recognizing that you're not in this alone and that there's strength in connection. But remember, no matter how much support you have, the work is still yours to do. Others can inspire you, encourage you, and hold you accountable, but they can't take the steps for you. That part is up to you. So if you're serious about turning your doubts into determination, start by building a circle of support that fuels your growth. Seek out those who challenge you, inspire you, and believe in you. Be that person for someone else, and most importantly, never forget that the strongest support system you'll ever have is the one you build within yourself. Because when you combine inner strength with outer support, there's no limit to what you can achieve. You've got this. Keep going. Failure is not the end of the story. It's just one chapter. And if you're willing to turn the page, you'll find that the best parts of your journey are still waiting to be written. You see, failure isn't what defines you. What defines you is how you respond to it, what you learn from it, and how you use it to fuel your growth. Every single person who has ever achieved greatness has stood face to face with failure. It's not a roadblock, it's a stepping stone. Think about a time when you tried something and it didn't go the way you hoped. Maybe you felt embarrassed, discouraged, or even defeated. That sting of failure can be sharp, can't it? But here's what you might not realize. Failure is evidence that you're trying. It's proof that you're pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone, that you're willing to take risks in the pursuit of something bigger. The only way to avoid failure is to do nothing. And doing nothing is the real failure. There's a power in looking at failure differently. Most people see it as an ending, but what if you started to see it as a beginning? When something doesn't work out, it forces you to pause and reflect. It asks you, what can I do better? What can I learn from this? That's where the growth happens. Failure shines a light on the areas you need to improve, and if you're open to it, it teaches you lessons that success never could. I've always believed that failure is the greatest teacher. When you fail, you're handed an opportunity to recalibrate, to adjust your approach, to get smarter and stronger. It's like being in a lab, experimenting and discovering what works and what doesn't. And the more you embrace failure as part of the process, the less intimidating it becomes. You start to see it for what it really is, a necessary part of success. Think about a child learning to walk. They fall over and over again, don't they? But they don't quit. They don't decide, well, I guess walking just isn't for me. They get up, they try again, and eventually they figure it out. Why? Because they're not afraid of failing. They're focused on the goal. Somewhere along the way, as adults, we lose that fearless determination. We start to fear failure so much that we stop trying altogether. But here's the truth. You've got to fall a few times before you can walk, and you've got to stumble a lot before you can run. The next time you fail, take a moment to really think about what happened. Not with frustration or self-pity, but with curiosity. Ask yourself, what did this teach me? How can I use this experience to improve? When you take the time to analyze your failures, you'll find they're full of valuable insights. Maybe you discovered that you needed to prepare more, or that your timing was off, or that there's a skill you need to develop. Whatever it is, take the lesson and leave the rest. You don't need to carry the pain or the guilt. You only need the wisdom. One of the most powerful things you can do is to stop seeing failure as something to avoid and start seeing it as something to embrace. When you do that, you'll notice a shift in how you approach challenges. Instead of holding back out of fear, you'll dive in with confidence, knowing that even if things don't go perfectly, you'll come out stronger on the other side. Failure stops being something to dread and becomes something to appreciate. But let's be honest, failure isn't fun. It can hurt. It can make you question yourself and your abilities, and that's okay. It's okay to feel disappointed when things don't go the way you hoped. Just don't stay there. Don't let that disappointment turn into self-doubt or give it the power to stop you from moving forward. Feel it, process it, and then use it as fuel to keep going. One of the biggest mistakes people make is letting failure define their self-worth. They think, I failed, so I must not be good enough. But failing at something doesn't mean you're a failure. It just means you're human. It means you're learning. And the people who succeed in life aren't the ones who avoid failure. They're the ones who refuse to let it stop them. They're the ones who get back up, dust themselves off, and try again. If you look at the most successful people in the world, you'll find a common thread. They've all failed, and they've all learned from it. Thomas Edison famously failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. Oprah was told she wasn't fit for television. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. These aren't just stories, they're reminders that failure is a universal experience, even for the best of the best. What sets them apart isn't that they avoided failure, but that they refused to give up when it happened. The key to turning failure into a lesson is perspective. Instead of seeing it as a sign that you're not good enough, see it as a sign that you're growing. Instead of focusing on what went wrong, focus on what you can do differently next time. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of the same journey. And the more you fail, the closer you get to the breakthrough you're working toward. Remember, failure doesn't have the power to stop you unless you give it that power. It's not a wall, it's a hurdle. And hurdles are meant to be jumped over. So the next time you face a setback, remind yourself that it's temporary. It's a moment in time, not the end of your story. You have the strength to overcome it, the resilience to keep going, and the wisdom to turn it into a stepping stone for your success. You're going to fail. It's inevitable. But how you respond to those failures is what matters most. Will you let them break you, or will you let them build you? Will you see them as the end of the road, or will you use them to pave the way forward? The choice is yours. And I hope you choose to see failure for what it really is. A powerful, necessary, and ultimately transformative part of your journey to greatness. Welcome back. I want to talk to you about a tool more powerful than any strategy or any plan you will ever create. It's not something you buy. It's something you already own, but you may not be using it to its full potential. I'm talking about your mind's ability to visualize success and feel it before it ever becomes real. Success isn't just something you achieve, it's something you feel. Close your eyes for a moment and picture the life you truly want. Not just the material things, but the feeling of accomplishment, the peace of mind, the joy of living fully. That vision is not some distant fantasy. It's a blueprint for your future. A blueprint that exists within you right now, waiting for you to claim it. And the first step toward it is this. You must visualize it so vividly, so clearly, that it feels as real as the ground you're standing on. You are not just a dreamer. You are the architect of your destiny. When you visualize success, you're not daydreaming. You are planting seeds in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind, seeds that will inevitably grow into action. The mind, you see, is a powerful machine. It responds to the pictures you create. If you constantly see yourself failing or stuck, guess what? That's exactly where you'll stay. You're programming your own limitations. But if you begin to see yourself winning, achieving, and overcoming, your actions will naturally align with that vision. Your body, your will, and your focus will follow where your mind leads. Think back to a time when you wanted something so badly that you could almost taste it. Maybe it was landing a job, acing an exam, or hitting a personal milestone. Remember how you could see yourself reaching that goal? That mental picture wasn't just wishful thinking. It was your brain preparing you to succeed. Visualization is like a mental rehearsal. Athletes do it. Performers do it. High achievers in every field do it. Why? Because they understand this simple, profound truth. You cannot achieve what you cannot first see. Take a moment now and let's go deeper. Imagine your version of success. Maybe it's not just starting your own business, but seeing the logo on the door, hearing the sound of a happy customer, and feeling the pride of building something from nothing. Maybe it's not just traveling the world, but feeling the sun on your face in a new city and the freedom that comes with that journey. Whatever it is, make it specific. Don't just say, I want to be successful. That's an empty statement. What does success look like for you? Picture the details. See yourself in the moment of victory. What do you feel? Who's with you? What are they saying? Bring it to life in your mind with every ounce of your focus. Now, here's the key that unlocks its true power. Don't just see it, feel it. Feel the excitement, the pride, the relief, the deep sense of accomplishment. Let it wash over you as if it has already happened. Why? Because the more you feel it, the more real it becomes to your subconscious mind. Emotions are powerful drivers of our actions. When you combine a clear vision with a strong emotional charge, you create an unstoppable force that propels you forward. You start to believe, and belief is the foundation of every great achievement. It is the bedrock upon which you build your future. This isn't magic, it's science. Neuroscientific studies have shown that visualization activates the same areas in the brain as actually performing the activity. When you mentally practice success, you're training your brain and body to respond as if you've already succeeded. You are building new neural pathways that make the real-world action feel more familiar and achievable. That's why so many champions credit visualization as a key part of their preparation. They don't just train their bodies, they train their minds. But here's the critical, non-negotiable truth. Visualization alone is not enough. You can't just sit around picturing success and expect it to show up at your door. That's the difference between a dreamer and a doer. You've got to back it up with action. Think of visualization as the spark that lights the fire, but it's your consistent effort that keeps it burning. The clearer your vision, the more motivated you'll be to take the steps needed to turn it into reality. It gives you a reason to get out of bed. It gives you the courage to make that hard phone call. It gives you the strength to push through when others would quit. Start small. Each morning, take a few minutes to close your eyes and visualize your day going exactly the way you want it to. See yourself being productive, confident, and focused. Feel the satisfaction of getting things done. As you build this habit, expand your vision, think about your bigger goals, and imagine yourself achieving them. Do this consistently, and you'll notice a shift in how you approach challenges. They won't seem as daunting because your mind will already be programmed to overcome them. Life is full of distractions and doubts that can pull you off course. Visualization is your anchor. It keeps you grounded in your purpose and focused on your goals. When you hit a rough patch, and you will, because that's life returned to your vision, remind yourself why you started, what you're working toward, and how incredible it will feel to get there. Let that vision reignite your determination. Some people might say, this sounds too simple, but simplicity is where the power lies. The most effective tools in life are often the simplest. Visualization costs nothing but a few minutes of your time, yet the return on investment can be life-changing. It builds confidence, sharpens your focus, and strengthens your belief in what's possible. Don't wait for the perfect moment to start. Begin today. Take 5 minutes to visualize the best version of your life, and then take one small step toward making it real. Success isn't some distant destination. It's built one step, one decision, and one vision at a time. If you can see it, you can achieve it. The life you want is waiting for you. It's time to go get it. Every great achievement begins with a single profound decision, a commitment to become your best self. This isn't a casual thought or a fleeting wish. It's a sacred promise you make to your future self, a pledge to your potential that you will not fail it. This commitment is the spark that ignites the fire of greatness, and it declares to the world, to every doubt and to every obstacle, I am unstoppable. This commitment is the foundation upon which all success is built. Without it, your goals remain distant dreams, and your potential, no matter how vast, remains untapped. Why is this commitment so critical? Because it is the ultimate act of self-ownership. It is the moment you stop being a passenger in your own life and seize the steering wheel with both hands, charting a course toward a destination only you can see. But let's be clear, this journey is not a gentle stroll. The path to becoming your best self is rugged, challenging, and filled with resistance. There will be days when the voice of doubt in your head is deafening, whispering that you're not good enough, smart enough, or strong enough. And in those moments when the temptation to quit is a powerful physical ache, your commitment is the only thing that will keep you standing. It is a vow that says, I will show up, I will do the work, and I will push forward even when I don't feel like it. This is not about being motivated 100% of the time. It is about building a discipline so strong that it functions automatically regardless of your emotional state. Think of this commitment as a contract you sign with yourself. This is not a casual agreement that you back out of when things get uncomfortable. It is a deep and unwavering pledge. It means deciding that from this point forward, your weak habits no longer have a say in your life. You must stop flirting with your old destructive patterns. You stop giving them space to breathe, keeping the door of old behavior cracked open. To truly commit, you must slam that door shut, lock it, and throw away the key. That is the kind of ruthless clarity required for genuine transformation. The reason most people fail to change is not due to a lack of ability, but a lack of full commitment. They dip their toe in the water, they try for a few days, they change some things, but not everything. Then, when the inevitable discomfort arises, they retreat to the familiar. They tell themselves they'll start over, but starting over means nothing if the commitment is the same as it was before. You cannot dismantle a lifetime of weak habits with half-hearted effort. You must bring everything you have to the table, not someday, but today. Today is all you have. Yesterday is a closed book, and tomorrow is not guaranteed. If you don't make a serious decision today, what makes you think you will suddenly become a different person tomorrow? You won't. You'll be the same person, making the same choices, hoping for a different result. That isn't a life, it's a loop, and you have already spent too much time there. Commitment is not about achieving perfection. It's about eliminating the option to quit. You decide that no matter how long it takes, you are going to keep going. You decide that the person you are becoming is infinitely more important than the comfort you are used to. You commit because you have already seen the cost of inaction, the wasted time, the quiet frustration, the profound disappointment. Why would you keep repeating a cycle that has proven time and again to give you nothing in return? Every weak habit you allow to stay is one more obstacle between you and the life you desire. Every time you give in, you feed the very version of yourself that is holding you back. You give it more control, and you cannot afford that if you are serious about your potential. Your decision to commit must be non-negotiable. You either become disciplined or you stay disappointed. You either break your old patterns or you become a prisoner to them. The change doesn't begin when you feel ready. It begins when you say, "I've had enough." That single sentence, if followed by action, holds the power to shift everything. You stop making room for weakness. You start building your new life around new standards, not gradually, but immediately. You can no longer keep one foot in your old life, hoping it will magically fade away. It won't. You have to actively destroy it. Be aggressive with your decisions. Be clear and be ruthless with the truth. That is how monumental change is made. You must create a new identity, an identity that no longer supports those weak habits. You must see yourself differently, not as someone who is trying to change, but as someone who has already made the decision. One is constantly fighting doubt, the other has already crossed the line. You can no longer identify with the person who gave in, who delayed, who wasted time. That version is gone. You've buried it. Now, you must build something better in its place. Don't confuse consistency with motivation. You won't feel motivated every day. That's a normal part of the human experience. But if you have made a full commitment, it doesn't matter how you feel. You will show up. You will do the work. You will stay the course. That is how you build true discipline. That is how you earn genuine self-respect. Every day you follow through, you strengthen the new version of yourself. Every time you say no to a weak habit, you take power away from it. Every day you act like the person you want to become, you step further into that reality. There is no neutral ground. You are either building strength or feeding weakness. You are either moving toward your goals or drifting from them. So look at your daily actions. Be honest. If you don't like what you see, you don't complain, you don't blame, you fix it. You choose the action that builds you instead of the one that drains you. Start now. Not with a big leap, but with one small choice rooted in strength. One action that your weaker self would have avoided. Do it today, then do it again tomorrow. Stack the days, stack the effort, stack the growth. And before long, you will look back and realize you've outgrown the life you used to live. That's how it's done, not with magic or luck, but with decisions, with discipline, with relentless action. You were not made to live in cycles. You were not built to live beneath your potential. You were meant to be strong, to lead your life with intention, to wake up with clarity, and to go to bed with peace. That kind of life doesn't come from weak habits. It comes from full commitment. The kind of commitment you choose today, the kind of commitment that never looks back,